Marcus thought he was just picking up a can of beans. He didn't know he was actually picking up a check for $10,000. Marcus had exactly $11.50 left in his bank account, 3 days until rent was due, and a backpack full of textbooks he was about to sell just to eat. He wasn't having a good day. But what happened in that grocery store parking lot on a Tuesday afternoon would change his entire life.
Wait, what is that?
And he had no idea it was coming.
It was 4:47 p.m. when Marcus pulled into the Kroger parking lot in his 2003 Honda Civic that made a sound like it was personally offended every time he started it. He had one goal: find something cheap enough to last him 3 days. Ramen, maybe eggs if they were on sale. As he got out of his car, he noticed her immediately. An elderly woman, maybe 80 years old, standing next to a shopping cart overflowing with grocery bags. She was struggling. One bag had already fallen and split open, canned goods rolling across the hot asphalt. 3 people walked past her.
I don't care.
Not one stopped. A man in a suit actually stepped over a rolling can of beans without breaking his phone conversation. Marcus watched all of this from 20 feet away. He was late. He was broke. He was exhausted from a double shift at the campus library that paid him $9 an hour. He walked over anyway.
Ma'am, let me help you with those.
Oh, thank you, young man.
Her name was Eleanor. She had sharp green eyes that didn't match her age at all. They were alert, curious, almost amused, like she was always in on a joke nobody else knew about. Most people don't stop, she said, watching him carefully as he gathered her cans. Most people are in a hurry. And you're not? He looked at her and smiled honestly. I'm broke and going home to cook ramen. I've got time. She laughed. A real laugh. The kind old people have when something genuinely surprises them. He helped her load every bag into her car. A simple, older model sedan. Nothing fancy. She didn't seem rich. She seemed like somebody's grandmother. Somebody who deserved better than stepping over rolling cans alone in a hot parking lot. Before he turned to leave, she grabbed his hand. What's your name, young man? Marcus. Marcus.
Thank you, Marcus.
She repeated it like she was storing it somewhere important. I'm Eleanor. Thank you.
You have
no idea
such
what
a
today has
good
been
heart.
like. He nodded, wished her well, and walked into the store. He bought ramen and eggs. He forgot about Eleanor almost immediately. Eleanor did not forget about Marcus. 2 weeks later, the floor fell out from under him. Financial aid delayed. No timeline given. His car dead in the campus parking lot. $800 to fix. $800 he simply did not have. Then an exam he'd barely studied for, because studying requires sleep, and sleep requires not working a double shift, and not working a double shift requires money he didn't have. He failed
I can't
it.
do this anymore.
Marcus sat in that broken car, in that cold campus parking lot, and he did the math one more time.
Everything is ruined.
And the math still didn't work. He thought about quitting. Not dramatically, not the way it happens in movies with speeches and tears. Just quietly,
I'll be there soon.
practically. With the same calm, tired logic you use when you've looked at a problem from every angle and run out of angles. He was the first in his family to go to college. That was the only number that still mattered. He called his mother instead. She cried when she heard his voice. He told her everything was fine. It wasn't fine. He stared out the cracked windshield at nothing, his breath fogging in the cold, and wondered how much longer he could hold on. 3 days after that phone call, Marcus got a letter in his campus mailbox. No return address. His name handwritten on the front in careful, old-fashioned cursive. Inside was a single note card that read, "A kind heart in hard times is the rarest thing in the world. Don't let the world change yours. Eleanor." And a check. Marcus stared at it for a long time. $10,000. He actually laughed out loud, alone in the mailroom. The confused, overwhelmed laugh of someone whose brain can't process what their eyes are seeing. He thought it was a mistake. He almost didn't cash it. He called the number written at the bottom of the note card. Eleanor answered on the second ring. "You didn't have to do this," he said. "I know," she said.
That's why I did it.
What Marcus didn't know, what nobody in that parking lot knew, was who Eleanor actually was. Eleanor had built one of the most successful private real estate companies in the state, starting with nothing but a single rental property she bought at 31 years old after her husband passed away and left her with 2 kids and no income. She had spent 50 years quietly building an empire. She drove a modest car on purpose. She shopped at Kroger on purpose. She had learned long ago that how people treat someone they think is powerless tells you everything about who they actually are. She had been testing people her whole life without them knowing. Most failed. Marcus didn't even know he was being tested. That's exactly why he passed.
Eleanor didn't just send a check and disappear. Over the next 6 months, she became his mentor. She taught him how to read a balance sheet, how to evaluate a property, how to negotiate, how to think about money, not as something you spend, but as something you build with.
Congratulations,
Marcus graduated debt-free.
You earned this. Thank you, sir. It's been a long journey.
At his graduation party, a small thing his mom threw at their house with store-bought cake, he got a phone call from Eleanor's attorney. She was offering him a junior partnership position at her company. Not an internship, a partnership. She said you've been training for it for 6 months, the attorney told him. She said you just didn't know it.
1 year later, Marcus was standing in a grocery store parking lot. Different store, different city. He saw a young woman, maybe 19, struggling with a stroller and 2 bags that were clearly too heavy. People were walking past her. He was on the phone. Important call. Deal on the table. He told the person on the phone he'd call them back. He walked over. "Let me help you with those." She looked at him, surprised. "You didn't have to stop," she said.
I know.
Marcus smiled. "I know," he said. "That's why I did."
The moment you decide to help someone, when nobody's watching and nothing's in it for you, that's the moment your life quietly starts to change. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today.
Oh, I now got it.